where the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are right here, right live, and we are here for Esports Premier Series 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione Qualifier 1 Day 7, brought to you by esports.in and Smart Lock screen partner Glance. In the combox today, you guys are joined by me, Swagger Turbo, and Electrip on the other side. Good evening, Electrip.
Good evening. How are you doing? So today we'll be doing ACC Esports Premier Series 2023. So we're getting into quali right now, and so yeah, glad to see some really good action today. Just looking forward to.
Okay, for some reason, I can't really hear you, Electrip.
Can you hear me now? Wait, you can't hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I did unmute it.
Hmm. It is unmuted. Okay.
Yep. Okay, as you were saying, Turbo, can you? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That is weird. That's weird. It was working just now, right? Can you? Okay, but it won't get broadcasted.
Okay, Electrip, I hope you can hear me. Just,
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
yeah, perfect. So just a few, technical issues here and there. I hopefully, hopefully it's solved now. But yeah, we have a nice race coming up ahead of us. So, got any thoughts on the races like that we're gonna have and the schedule that we're gonna have right now?
Yeah, we're gonna have two 20-minute quali sessions before the actual races, and we're gonna have two 20-minute sessions for the race. So that's gonna be the schedule for today.
Indeed. So yeah, really excited to see what these guys do in the qualies as well as the main race. We had a pretty interesting race even yesterday, and yeah, it was pretty close between a few drivers to say the least. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope for a very tight and close race today as well.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see some really close action between the guys up front. It'd be really nice to see what they can come up with today.
So yeah, we have two tracks for today as well. You want to just go through that real quick, Electrip?
Well, I think you can go through it.
Okay, so yeah, for tonight actually, we have two tracks. One is I think Great Britain, the Silverstone track, and yesterday we had Zolder. So yeah, we're just waiting for the quali to start, and yeah, we'll just quickly hop on to that screen as well. So one thing that for the viewers all watching at home, the qualifiers for the second qualifiers are going to start this month itself towards 21st. So if you want to sign up, get into the Discord link and sign up for that as soon as possible. Okay, so Jiren, can we quickly go to the schedule part as well? Okay, there we go. So as I was saying, we have a Zolder race, a quali, 20-minute quali, and the top five drivers will go in for a quick 10-minute Super Bowl. Actually, a 20-minute Super Bowl. So one driver from one driver each in the top five will go and set their laps in, and whoever is fastest, that's the grid for the race one as well as race two. Race one again will be in Zolder. That's the format we've been having for so long. So yeah, we have a 30-minute race in Zolder and then a 30-minute race in Silverstone. And again, there are going to be a lot of different cars as well that these guys are going to use. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do towards the end, because few tracks like Zolder as well as Silverstone and stuff, the cars are completely different, and the way they move and the way they handle are completely different. So what do you think would be a good strategy for or a good car for both these tracks, Electric?
Well, personally, I would say I would say the Ferrari and the McLarens are pretty good on Zolder and Silverstone. Again, they have a good top end and they're really nimble to handle. They're not too nimble like the Porsche, which can oversteer a bit too much. But the McLaren and the Ferrari are pretty good cars for these tracks.
Indeed, and yeah, qualifying is underway now, and as you can see, the cars are already on track. We have one of the Ferraris, a Merc, two McLarens, an Audi, a BMW, as well as a Porsche. So interesting, choices over here. Of course, we won't really have a pit stop this time around, so it's just going to be, load your setup, get your fuel in, and put in some laps. So, yeah, a pretty straightforward thing. Silverstone is what we are going for. So, a little bit of change in the schedule as well. So, the updated schedule has just been given to me. So, we have a 10-minute quali in Silverstone. Then we'll have a race one, which is the grid set from the qualifying. We'll have a second qualifying after that, 10 minutes in Zolder, and that will set the grid for the race two as well. So a completely different switch this time around, and a very interesting one, because these guys will have twice the chances to get the car on pole and get a good result for them.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to see all the drivers on track. It's 7 drivers on track for the session today. So yeah, let's see what they can come up with, as we have like around 7 minutes 50 seconds left for qualify today. And as you can see, most of the drivers are on their banking laps, about to set their first quali laps.
Yeah, we have a beautiful shot of the onboard cam over here, and we are on board H Parhi, who is about to start a lap and going into turn one, gets the braking point right, hugs the apex so very well, goes off slightly wide on the curbs, but that's pretty perfect inside the track limits as well. Going into Maggots and Beckett's now, dropping down to gear 5, gearing down a bit more as well to the third gear, and that's a very clean Maggots and Beckett's going onto the hanger straight for the Porsche right there.
Yep, as you can see now, you're going to come up to this corner is very tricky, as you have to really carry some speed into it. As you can see, if you don't, you have to really hug on the inside. This is very tricky, and try not to run wide here, because if you run wide there, you're definitely going to get invalidated. Coming up to the final, coming up to the chicane again. You can't go with sausage curves, especially this ending this exit curve as well. We do invalidation, trying to keep it as tight as possible, and coming back on the F1 straight. So yeah.
Yeah, taking the F1, turn one pretty well, and yeah, till now he hasn't really been making that many mistakes. He's been keeping the keeping the car on track and pretty clean, just missing a few apexes here and there, which might just lose him a few tenths, I would say. But till now, a pretty clean lap by the Porsche over here.
Exactly, he's doing a really good job on this track, because this entire track is generally Silverstone is about keeping momentum. You want to keep your momentum from each corner to the next corner. Compared to other tracks, there's not a lot of stop and go corners. Like most of the corners are just keeping momentum, because if you screw up on one corner, it's gonna really affect your entire lap, especially the next corners and the next straights. Which are pretty good. As you can see, he completed his first flying lap, time of 1:59.35, which is actually a pretty good lap for the starting lap. Let's see what the other guys can do.
Indeed, that's a very, very good lap, and just a banker as well. 2.8 seconds faster than the competition right now, which is the Mercedes, or actually BMW behind him. So only two cars have set a valid lap till now, and the other six, or maybe five drivers actually still have to put a lap in. So this could get interesting towards the end because again, these guys just have 10 minutes for the quali. They have to set up, put a setup on and just put in as many laps as they can. Valid laps again, because if you mess up a single turn, it's very easy to actually lose the car over here as well. Silverstone, a pretty tough and critical circuit. So yeah, we are on board Baldy right now, who's coming on to the line, and ooh, that was pretty close to track limits, and he takes pole by a tenth.
Yeah, Baldy did really well on the circuit today, especially just 10.5 separate him and Barry in the Porsche, as you can see. And also, we have two more drivers yet to set a lap. I think the last driver, I mean, the Audi driver is on his flying lap as well. As we are on, as we are on board roof, the McLaren car number 2, going to trying to keep it as tight as possible, making sure he nails every apex, every exit, and yeah. And yeah, we could see the top two are really really close. Anyone can take pole. We still have, we still have one more. Yeah, they can do one more lap. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I think they could even squeeze in two laps right now because we have 4 minutes left and they're doing just under two laps. But for those who are, lapping at around 2 minutes per lap, it's going to be tricky for them to, just put in two laps. But yeah, they have to make sure that the tires are on the right temperature, the brakes are also in the right temperature, and just get that lap in because every second counts. We can see that the top two are super super close. A lot of different liveries showcased by these guys as well. So yeah, a different kind of scenario because not all of them are in the same kind of cars. So it would be interesting to see, a few cars having more top end, a few cars having better, turning and stuff. So yeah, overall, this is going to be a pretty decent race, I would say.
Yeah, as we have, everyone has a lap. Just like the last, the Ferrari is left to set a lap as well. So yeah, we're just waiting on him to set a lap. And 2 minutes 40 seconds left for quali 2. And as we're on board Baldi, who is he on a flying lap? Yes, he is. Yep, he's on his final lap as he just started right now. Let's see if he can improve on his time. Again, Pari is around half a second off Baldi. Let's see who can get P1. It's really close between those two cars, just half a second separating both of them. As you can see, Pari is really quick, really trying to hug all the corners, as much speed as he can get to every single corner. Trying to maximize the circuit right now. On board the Porsche.
Indeed, and to be very honest, the Porsche is actually pretty quick on the straights, is what I've seen, and the fact that the whole grid is completely spread out in terms of the car choice. Obviously, it's free car choice. You can take whatever you are comfortable in, and yeah, right now the Merc as well as the Porsche are dominating the rest of the field. But again, it's 1 minute 30 left on the clock. These guys are still putting in laps. Pari comes on, and yeah, he does take pole. Pari crosses the start finish straight. We see a Audi who is just spun out after turn 1, and Pari has taken P1 off of Baldi by 3/10 of a second right now.
Yep, as yeah, Pari is in the first position. As Baldi is still on the, he still might take it. Let's see what he's done. He's still on a flying lap right now, so yeah, it's pretty close. 1 minute left on the clock, and yeah, let's see what he can do as well. As yeah, Pari's, he's finished his flying lap. That's his last lap for quali today, and yeah, let's see if anyone can challenge him today. As yeah, he is absolutely flying in the Porsche right now. Was his right 3/10 behind him. As yeah, the McLaren is 2.9 seconds, and yeah, top two is really tight. That's getting really interesting compared to the rest of the field.
The fun thing about this grid is the top two are very close, and the rest of the field, all the way from P3 to P7, is also super close because the gap between them is also it's 2.9 to 3.3, which is just 4 tenths of a second. So a very very close grid for the race one at least. We still have a few cars out there, and again pretty a very good looking livery right here on this Ferrari, where on Shashank's car, and yeah, it's like they have actually put in some time and effort on making these liveries or just getting them on, and they do look really good on the car.
Yeah, the liveries actually look stunning on these cars. Really beautiful, really glistening in the sun right now. As the top three, so Ferrari takes provisional P1. Let's see. I doubt anyone can challenge him right now. He's gonna take first place. As you can see, Shashank really rounding, on the second sector right now. He's doing pretty well as well. Really, really maximizing the track as well. Every driver is pushing to their absolute limits, trying to do the best they can on this track. And yeah, ooh, goes onto the grass there.
Ooh, and that is, the session has ended right there, and we have a top three, which is Parhi, Baldi, and Vipin Chandra.
Green light, go, go, go.
Yep, the race is.
So yeah, open quali by these guys. The two McLarens are P3 and P4, and yeah, overall a pretty good showing by these guys. And it's going to be a super close race because we can see that the top two are pretty close, as well as the rest of the field. So I'm pretty excited for and waiting for this race.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, the top two is extremely close. Literally, like less than half a second separate the top two. So between them, anyone could win actually. And even at the bottom of the field also, it's pretty close. And yeah, let's see who's gonna take first place today. At the end of the day, it's a race. Anyone can spin out.
Mhm.
Whatever can happen will happen in a race. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun race today.
That's true. We'll have a short break right now because we have to set up the whole server as well. Just restart the server. So we'll take a short break and be right back.
Thank you.
Dripping lights paint the skies. Only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move.
Okay. All right. So we're back after the quick, break that we had, and yeah, as we were talking about it earlier, like a completely different choice of cars, shown for the race today, and yeah, what do you think? It's like which car will be, because obviously there's an entry list. So what do you think will be a good car which will do good in Zolder as well as Silverstone?
Actually, what we can see right now, the Porsche is looking mighty strong because the Porsche, it has that good acceleration out of the corners. It's a really twitchy car. It's kind of hard to master compared to the other cars, but if you can master the Porsche, you have a winning car on your hand. But the
That's true.
Mercedes is a bit more stable compared to the Porsche. You know, the learning curve is a bit easier, but the Porsche is a bit harder to learn. But at the end of the day, it comes down to driver skill. The difference between cars are like marginal compared to what the difference between the driver's skills are. So anyone can take the crown today. So yeah.
That is true, and yeah, it's like we saw pretty close racing, throughout the series actually, and to see that tonight as well would be a charm. But again, it's turn one. All the cars are going to be super close to each other, and yeah, all I can say is let's hope for the best. Let's hope there's no contact, because if there is, that's going to be pretty bad for the drivers. But I'm pretty sure the commentators, will have a blast.
Exactly. Let's hope everyone takes it really clean into turn one. We want to see good racing between everyone, but hopefully no one ends up in the grass.
But yeah, it's ACC, it's racing. Turn one, we have seen incidents in real life as well as, in the league races. So anything can happen. The driver in first could potentially get taken out. And yeah, we've seen that before. Let's hope that doesn't happen this time around.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. We want to see the best driver win today, no matter what. Contact will happen here and there because the sport of racing is a contact sport. So, but yeah, hopefully we expect all the drivers to keep it really clean, keep it tight into turn one. Hope yeah
Mhm.
everyone can follow each other and yeah.
And there we go. We have
Yes.
a 24-second timer for the race as well. And would you like to, the first few corners of this race, Electra?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the first corner we have a 90-degree right-hander, and yeah, that corner, at the start you have to keep it, you have to keep it kind of clean, kind of consistent, because anyone can take your inside or your outside. It's a really tricky corner, especially when you're going side by side. So the first corner is a bit tricky, but once everyone lines up, you know, it'll be pretty easy to Maggots and Beckett's. As you can see, Maggots and Beckett's, it's a high-speed complex of corners, light braking. You just have to flick the wheel left and right and make sure the car, doesn't go into the grass. As you can see, everyone is, juggling for position before we start the race. Yeah.
Green light, give it okay.
And the race is on. Green light, let's go.
Right, so going into first turn, the Porsche actually, stays in front, and the Ferrari gets pushed out a slightly wide by one of I think that's the BMW right there. And going into Maggots and Beckett's right now, pretty clean start from these guys. And while I say that, there's a car just completely off, and that's the race leader as well. So
Oh,
another contact at the back between the Beamer as well as the McLaren gets spun out, and I'm pretty sure that is Vipin Chandra in the back who got spun out. And yeah, we did see a car completely, just straight line Maggots and Beckett's, and I think he's able to, keep the. Yeah, there we go. The gap has come down a little bit at least, and the Porsche and the Merc just super close to each other.
yeah, the Merc and Porsche really battling it out in the first lap. Yeah, first lap instances happen where we can see Murray and Bolin, didn't get affected that much by it. They calmed down, and yeah, now it starts to kind of put their head down in 30 minutes of him trying to stay at the front while Bolin chases him down the entire time. So yeah, as you
We
can
have
see,
beautiful. Yeah. Go on, go on.
as you can see, he said the McLaren also is doing pretty well on its own, but it's coming up to the back of the Mercedes, and yeah, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, we have a beautiful split screen over here as well, and it looks really nice because we can keep track of both the fights that's going on right now, and we can see them on the same straight as well. Where I think that is S Rao getting super close to Path Patel. Will he send it down the inside? He does. There is. I don't think there's much contact over there. Pretty clean racing by them, and the Ferrari of S Rao has overtaken the McLaren of Path Patel right there. It's very close racing, and yeah, a pretty good move by the Ferrari right there. What do you think about that, Vector?
Yeah, Shashang made an excellent move on part right there, really well executed. He kept it right on the inside well part, He gave part gave Shashang enough room, not too much room, just enough for him to slip past, fair racing between two. But part, he's not letting it go. He's coming back right behind the Ferrari, He is trying his best. Magnussen Beck is losing a tiny bit of time through the dirty air section over there. And yeah, he's inching closer and closer towards the Ferrari. He's not letting this one go, is he?
And talking about Ferrari, Ferrari has actually caught up to the BMW in front. Magnussen Piquet wasn't really a good, he didn't really get a good exit over there. And both of them going side by side towards the end of Hanger Straight, trying to go for a switchback, but the BMW just stays, right on the apex and doesn't let the Ferrari go down the inside. And yet again, a very good defense by, I think that is Shirsagar right there. And yeah, he has been able to keep Shashank right behind him. Great defending for the few turns at least, going on to the F1 first corner, and yet again a very good defense by the BMW, keeping Shashank, who is getting pretty good exits out of that Ferrari right there, and going down the inside right now, and does break later than the BMW. And what a beautiful move that is by Shashank to get P3.
Yeah, this is turning into a three-way battle for P3 right now. As even Patel is Part is getting closer as well because because of the fight for P3, he's getting an advantage right now with the BMW right on the tail of Shashank. Everyone can make a good move. Again, beautiful defending by the BMW before he got past, putting the car right where it's supposed to be. And now it's Shashank's turn to defend like a lion in front of the BMW. Let's see, Part can actually even join in on the battle and see what happens. So back on P1, Ferrari in first place, and Baldi right behind, still keeping up to him. This might be a long battle between them. But yeah, Baldi just trying to put the pressure on him, trying to force him into a mistake, but hopefully Ferrari doesn't crack under the pressure. Bakar following under a second right behind him.
Unfortunately, like in F1, we don't really have DRS over here to help the guy behind to try and catch up. But talking about catch up, we have Parth right behind Shishir and just closing the gap up. Shishir not really having the best of lines through Magnussen Beckett's, and yeah, going under the Hanger Straight, they're both side by side, and we saw some great defense put up by the BMW in front, and yet again, he defends the inside. Ooh, and Parth trying to go on the grass. Didn't spin out. Pretty lucky over there and well controlled, I would say. And that has, kind of stopped his momentum of catching up and maybe even overtaking Shishir right here.
Yeah, Path got a tiny bit impatient, trying to get capitalize on the inside line, but he went into the grass. Again, really close racing and amazing, defense from the BMW, doing an excellent job. I don't know, does he, the contact at start, causing him to slow down? Maybe does he have a bit of damage because of what happened during the start? I don't know, but yeah, he is doing his absolute best to keep any car behind him.
Indeed, and we did see that in quali itself that all of these guys were super close to each other, and yeah, they still are. Like even though the whole grid is just separated by quite a bit actually from P1 to P7. P7 and P6 are super close and having a battle for P6, right? As you can see right now, and we did see the McLaren getting spun out, so Whippen just trying to get back on the Audi right in front of him, and yeah, just slightly. Oh, that was pretty close to kind of rear-ending him, but yeah, again, well managed by both these drivers, just hard racing, giving each other enough space, and we're talking about having a pretty close race, from the quali, and it does look like a pretty close race right now.
Yeah, we can see there's like multiple. There's around like three battles going on track right now. Again, this is GT racing. No DRS, no ERS, no electrical system to give them a boost, no DRS, just old school engine versus engine racing between everyone. So yeah, it's a really close battle between, the top runners and the midfielders, even the last runners, they're having a tight battle. So it's going to be an interesting race. The entire 23 minutes left of today. So yeah, we got, anyone can come P1, anyone can come P5. You never know. At the end, yeah.
Yeah, true. The order can, just switch anytime. And of course, it's 30 minutes of complete focus. And if you make even a slightest of mistakes and just get spun out, you lose a huge chunk of time and you can literally lose the position. And these guys are also super, super close. So P1 and P2, only 6 tenths between them. So pretty close between Porsche and the Merc right now. And the one thing that I know by after racing yesterday is the Merc can take the curbs quite well compared to the Porsche. So going into Zolder, he could have a slight advantage, but Ollie doesn't want this race, to go into the next track and then try to get P1. He is trying to close in the gap to Paris right now. And the gap is down to 0.4 now, and this is super, super close. Can he send one down the inside? And can Parth send or move down the inside of Shirsagar? And can he make a move for P4? Because Shashank has completely gone in P3.
Yeah, Part really, that McLaren really weaving behind that BMW. Hopefully he can make a move. Again, really tight racing between them. And the BMW putting the car exactly where it's supposed to be, on track, not letting the McLaren pass. It's a really tight battle between them, and and anyone can come P4. At the end, yeah, as we're going through Magus and Beckus right now, let's see if Part gains a bit of time during the section. Maybe can get right on the back of the BMW and make a pass. But let's see, as he's inching closer towards the car. He has to get an optimal exit, and does he get an optimal exit? And yes, he is gaining on that BMW, gaining and gaining right on his slipstream. Again, no DRS, no ERS, nothing. Just trying his best. Oh, he's pulling out to make the move. Will he make the move? No, he won't. Again, he should have stayed in the slipstream a tiny bit longer before he made the move. The BMW going a bit wide, trying to carry as much speed, coming up to the chicane. Again, just being a bit respectful, trying not to dive down the inside or anything. Putting that as much pressure as he can on that BMW. The more pressure, you're just forcing him into a mistake. That's how he's trying to do it. Coming closer. Will he make a move? Pulling out. Let's see if he makes a move. And oh, that is absolutely crazy right there.
It is, a slight bit of contact right there, and my goodness, I literally had my, heart in my mouth. I was like, that was super, super close and, almost disastrous. But yeah, well kept by both of the cars. And talking about both of the cars, both of them go wide, and that's a spin for Parth. He just touches the grass ever so slightly, and yeah, just spun out. This is the exact kind of mistake that you were talking about, Electra.
Exactly. The BMW put so much pressure on Parth that a tiny little mistake, and he is out of the battle for now. Again, back to P1 and P2. Essentially, Baldi took the lead. Paris is in number 2, and hopefully, they are really fighting for P1. Again, they are far ahead of the field, almost a corner and a half ahead of the field, and yeah, it's going to be, them exchanging positions. Hopefully, the entire race where they just exchange positions, keep fighting, keep pushing each other, and let's see who comes up on top.
Indeed, we did see that, Bolly was catching up to Pari, and yeah, it's like off stream he's just overtaken Pari right there, and Bolly really having a solid race right now. He was a slight, I think the fast lap that he was trying to put in got invalidated or something during quali as well. I saw him going wide a little bit. But yeah, he's back on P1. The gap is, increasing ever so slightly, almost a second to Pari now. And yeah, that is super unfortunate for, let's talk about the guys at the back as well. Super unfortunate for Parth. As we're talking about, the spin. It was just unfortunate that he touched the grass a little bit. And yeah, he's all the way at the back of the field now. So as I was talking about earlier, you make a slight mistake, you just lose so much time and so many positions. It's pretty crazy. And talking about Shawshank as well, he's in P3 right now. Did overtake, the three-man battle that we are watching, and to be very honest, he's done pretty well. He is slightly, slowly but surely trying to catch up to the guys in front, but these guys are just in a league of their own right now.
Yeah, again, the thing about racing, between the best drivers and the mid-range drivers, them keeping the car on the limit every single lap. You know, a good driver would keep the car on the limit like a few laps of the race, and a great driver can keep consistency, keep not losing under pressure, because it's not about coming first or anything. Sometimes it's just about keeping consistency. As long as you're consistent and just wait for the guy in front to make a mistake, you can capitalize on that mistake. And again, if you push the limit a tiny bit too much, as we saw, Path was just trying to push harder and harder, and he just touched the grass and spun out. So yeah, that's the difference between a great driver and a good driver.
Indeed, just the focus over there just snapped slightly. No, the thing is, I think Path was just following Shirsagar blindly, and yeah, he even the BMW made a mistake, while the McLaren also just followed the mistake, a bit too eager on the throttle coming out of the corner, and yeah, he just went spinning, probably losing a lot of positions, as we can clearly see, and the guys in front do have a 5-second time penalty, so it's still, maybe he can just close the gap, but the gap is just increasing and increasing for Path, and I think he's focusing more on Zolder and just getting used to the car for this race right now.
Yeah, now Path will be, hoping for any instance that will, that could bring him back in the race, or just trying to keep it, keep his car together, keep his patience, and just try to make it home. But yeah, hopefully, anything can happen. If you're following a car, the way you brake, the way you turn, everything changes when you're following compared to driving on your own. You have to anticipate what the car is doing in front of you. Braking zones will be a bit. You have to brake a tiny bit earlier, because dirty air will play into a factor. Aerodynamics. There's a ton of factors. Again, as you can see, Pari just trying to keep it on the limit. His braking is increasing a tiny bit as he's getting closer and closer, because dirty air does it has a factor to it at this speed. But yeah, it's all about just trying to be as close as he can to Paul, just keeping the pressure on him, forcing him into a tiny little mistake which you can capitalize on.
Indeed, and for talking about closing up, we have Vipin yet again closing up to the Audi here, and these guys did have a battle in bit at the start of the race, and now they're back at it. So can Vipin make a move on the Audi in front, and can the Audi, just like the BMW, can he keep him behind? Because we saw great defense from the BMW of Shirsagar, and yeah, we have PKB in the Audi, has been putting in some consistent laps in. The last lap wasn't that great, 2:03, and the McLaren going wide right there, who did a 2:02 last lap. So yeah, he has caught up quite a bit. Maybe a slight mistake from the Audi,
Keep pushing.
but yeah, we are on the halfway mark, and right now it does look like the McLaren is just waiting for a chance to overtake the Audi, but he does have a 5-second penalty.
Exactly, the McLaren shouldn't try any optimistic move. Just keep at the back of him, just keep putting pressure on him, just wait for a mistake. I think that's the best thing for the McLaren to do, because if he does a move that's too ambitious, there's no point. Anyway, the guy in front has a penalty, so he just wants to keep back. Just oh, he does go for the move. Will he make it? Will he make it stick? Side by side, and coming out of the corner, the Audi is just a hair in front of the McLaren. But yeah, the McLaren is getting closer and closer. Again, at the end of the day, they love racing. Penalty or not, they just want to get the position on track. That's what it matters. And he's coming close. Oh, and there's contact. There is contact. Both the drivers are off track. Oh, that is.
Oh, that was super close. Of course, you're completely full throttle, just a slight lift off onto the right-hander over there, and that's just unfortunate, because I think the Audi had a slight bit of a bit of squirm, the tire squirming, and yeah, he just lost traction a little bit and caught Vipin completely off guard. Vipin has been, he has had a lot of incidents right now, And yeah, both the McLarens just not having the best of races in Silverstone right now, because we can see that Parth, his McLaren counterpart, should I say, both of them on the same straight, the gap was pretty huge, and now Vipin is actually P7 after the whole penalties and whatnot, just go through. So this is super close yet again. Just a slight bit of mistake from the car in front and a slightly slow reaction, if I should say so to myself. And yeah, it's just unfortunate for the McLaren that they had the contact, and yeah, he just almost hit the wall right there.
Yeah, but in other news, at least Parth has someone to battle with. At least Parth's closing up on Vipin Chandra, and yeah, he at least at least he'll be tanking the sim racing gods. That at least he has an a competitor now, instead of dragging the car home in last position. And he might have a chance for P6. He will have a chance for P6 because plus the 5 second penalty, plus again, if you see a car in front of you, you will be a bit more optimistic, and a bit of adrenaline, a bit of dopamine in your body will help you push it a little bit further than you normally do. And yeah, let's see what Path can do.
It's like the predator instincts just start up, because you see the guy in front and you're like, I want to try and catch up to him. He's super close. Let's try and just chase the captain. So yeah, overall pretty decent racing. Just a few contacts here and there. And talking about Pari and Baldy, the gap hasn't increased over 1 second till now. As I was speaking, it went
And
up a little bit, and that's a huge. Oh, that's a lovely save as well. But a huge snap for the Porsche right there, pushing it to the limit, and unfortunately just pushed a little bit too much. And Baldy can just slow down slightly, and yeah, just trying to get the car home, because if he makes a mistake now and goes into the wall, that's just P1 gone. So all he has to do now is try to get that car home. He can slow down a little bit, of course, in the last 10 minutes of this race. We obviously have 11 minutes left, so yeah, just has to try and get the car home. We still have, I think, the background. The Audi has gone back down to P7, so he must have had a spin or something, because Parth is up to P6. Vipin right in front of him with a 2.4 second gap. So Vipin does have slightly bit more pace compared to his McLaren counterpart, I would say. And yeah, 2.4 seconds, 2 minutes 3.8 lap time, and Parth did a 2.51. So definitely gaining a little bit of time right there.
as another news, Shawshank has a drive to a penalty. That's gonna hurt him a lot. And yeah, but Perry just made that mistake, and yeah, Baldy, Baldy will be a bit happy because at least he doesn't have to put so much pressure on himself and try to keep it in P1. He can relax a bit. Doesn't have to push the car as much. But Pari will be he'll be kicking himself because he lost chance for P1. And if he can crawl back 10 minutes in 10 seconds in 10 minutes, my bad, that will be extremely impressive. But yeah, let's see. And yeah, unfortunate Shang getting the drive. That's gonna cost him a lot of time.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Daito is mostly 30 seconds. So
Yep.
even with 5 second added, I think Shashank will be okay if he finishes and just gets the car home in P3. But again, if I could be wrong, maybe it's more than 30 seconds, and that's something we'll have to see towards the end of this race. Shashank has had a very decent race till now. This, he took he took P3 from, I think it was Shishir as well as Parth, and he's just been putting in some consistent laps, trying to catch up to the guys in front, but he just doesn't have that kind of pace to keep up with Baldy and Pari. But he does have more pace to just stay away from the BMW and the McLarens behind. So just in the no man's land right now, putting in some time in, basically doing time trials, trying to improve his lap times. And yeah, the guys at the back just had a bit of race. And the last 9 minutes, I think, is going to be more chill. And maybe we'll see another move on the number 46 car, which is both the McLarens fighting it out towards the end. Let's just hope for that.
Yeah, Shawshank now Shawshank's plan right now is probably just keep his head down, do some clean, consistent laps every lap, and just try to bring the car home in one piece. But yeah, but Baldi is just running away with the win, and hopefully Parry can come closer. But yeah, let's see. And yeah, Vinchendra is in fifth position. Krishnan Nagar in fourth, and P Patel in sixth position. So yeah, the field is a bit separated right now. There's no real battle happening, as as you can see, Shashank just going a bit off-roading, bit off the track. But
Shashank at this point is just, I think, trying to have fun. He's just taking out all the cones outside and yeah, just vibing because he doesn't have anyone in front. Nothing to lose. He does have a DT, of course, but I don't think that will affect him too much. But while I'm talking about that, Shirsagar is only, I think, 10 seconds behind him. So maybe he has made a mistake or something because after the DT, Shirsagar is definitely on for a P3 here. So we are still not yet done.
exactly, we're not done. Anyone can take P3. But yeah, and still 7 minutes. 7 minutes is enough for someone to make a mistake or someone to overtake. Still a plenty of time for anything to happen on track. This race is far from over. And yeah, Bali is 25 seconds. Yeah, Bali has a massive lead right now. 25 seconds from that's right. So that'll be like 10 seconds from Pari, according to the
Yes, that's
leaderboard.
around
And
10 seconds.
everyone just settled in and just trying to bring the car home at this point. Like, no, there's not a lot of fighting going on. And yeah,
Indeed, now they can just turn on the chill drive, Sunday drive mode on, and just try and get the car home because I think Saga is trying to push a little bit and trying to catch up to Shashank right here because it's just 10 seconds. He definitely has a drive through for cutting the corner, and it is a pretty technical circuit because you have maggots and Beckett's, you have Cops Corner, as well as a lot of turns where you can just go slightly off track and accumulate a few track limit warnings. So I think that's what has happened with Shashank right there, and that is really unfortunate for him because he did have P3, but I think it's slowly fading away from him. And Saga, who has a 5-second penalty, was under pressure from Parth at the start of the race, is looking forward for maybe a podium right here.
yeah. This again for Baldi, just cruising along in P1, just trying to chilling out a bit. And yeah, he just has to bring the car home. No faffing about. And yeah, and Pari is just probably trying to bring the car home as well. But yeah, he might be hoping for Baldi to make a mistake, because if I was in second position, I'll be like, can he just make one mistake, just a tiny nudge or something, so I can close up the gap, you know. And yeah, everyone's both of them putting in consistent 2-minute lap times around the track.
Indeed, these
Let's
guys
see
were
if
doing
I'm
one.
just curious when will Shashank take his drive-through, because yeah, his drive-through's piling up.
The thing is, this lane over here is pretty long, and I don't think he has to pit in, so he can go to the end of the race,
Yes.
and the time will just get added. So, oh, but he has pit. Okay,
Yeah, he has.
I was right about that. He has pit. Okay, interesting. So this is going to be pretty crucial for him to see where he comes out, and he's just leaving the pits right now, as we can see on the mini map on the right, and that is a solid P4 for him. And I don't think he has enough time to catch up to Shirsaga and take P3 back from him.
Again, that's not pretty bad. He just lost one position from the drive-through. It could be much worse. Again, yeah, P4 is still pretty respectable if, considering he had a drive-through. Especially if the field was much more bunched up, he would lose, a lot more positions. But luckily, since this field is more spread out, one position is all he loses. And yeah, 10-second gap, he won't be able to make that up in the 5 minutes which is left in the race.
Yeah, so Wally, as we did see this in the quali as well. It was super close between Parhi and Baldi, and even now it's like the gap has just pretty much stayed under 12 seconds or around 12 seconds, I would say. And yeah, it's just a very, very costly mistake for Parhi because he was under a second and almost a second gap, maintaining a second gap. We did not see how Baldi got the position from Parhi as well. But yeah, a very well driven race by both of them. And of course, even the guys at the back are putting in consistent laps in right now, maybe getting used to the track, used to the circuit. And not a lot of them getting that many position not position sorry not getting that many track limit warnings. And talking about track limit warnings, the person P5 Vipin Chandra in the McLaren has a 10-second time penalty, and Parth is still closing up surely but slowly to him. So even though he might just lose the on track race, he can still get P5 at the end of the day because of the 10-second penalty that the McLaren in front of him has.
Yeah, Pat is gonna get a bit excited right now because he's closing the gap, and yeah, 10-second penalty, and that's in Pat's favor right now. You know, he'll be hopefully not celebrating too soon, but he'll definitely have a smile on the face after seeing that on his leaderboard. As he, closing up the gap, not closing up, but he's around like 5 seconds off the pace right now, Vipin Chandra. But yeah, Krishna, yeah, the car number 8, the BMW with a 5-second penalty, and yeah, Pari in P2, and yeah, pretty much everyone has settled down now, just trying to make it end. 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes left for the race to end.
And for the viewers watching at home, if you guys want to join this kind of racing in ACC, you can buy the game, of course, and you can join the Qualifier 2, which will start from November 27th. And yeah, the Qualifiers 2 is waiting, so you guys can join for that, sign up, and do some practicing because you will have quite a bit of time now. And you can join us for the races starting from
Right,
then.
man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
Yeah, you guys can join us from November 27th if you just get the game, do a few laps, and if you guys are really comfortable and want to have fun, join the game. Again, all the details of how to join in Discord and Instagram and the website is all in the description. So yeah, go down there and just come join us in the Discord server.
Indeed, and the leader Baldy is on his final lap. For the final time, this has gone through Maggots and Beckett. He's on the hanger straight right now, and just about, I think, finishing Beckett's and getting on the hanger straight. Yep, there we go. So again, just a slight bit of we saw, I think, two mistakes from Parth as well as Parhi. And Parth has done pretty well to maybe get back to P5 after his spin. And Parhi, again, with very quick recovery and not too shabby, from he just lost a bit of time to Baldy, of course, 11 seconds to Baldy, but the gap still under 12 seconds. So both of them have pretty much equal pace, and maybe in the second race we can see a proper battle between Parhi and Baldi, and maybe a fewer mistakes from the rest of the field as well, because they're completely into the they're pretty warmed up now, and they will be pretty comfortable in their cars as well.
Yeah, Bob, excellent drive by him, phenomenal drive by him as he's just under 10 seconds, and we're gonna have the final lap. And Pari also deserving of a second place, and he did an excellent race. That was an excellent battle between the two. And yeah, let's see what he can do because we still have another race. Anyone can take first place. I want to see an amazing battle between them again. And Pari might take first position. Who knows? Somebody, Shawshank might take first position again. See, we're diving into the unknown as the race, a 0 minute, the race just ended, rounding off the final lap. And yeah, Baldi just won the race. Pari running off the final corner, coming in second position. So, yeah.
Yep, that's P2 for Parhi, and we're just waiting for everyone else to finish up the races as well, while these guys are just going to slow down, stop the car, and return to pits. And yet again, a very, very good race from these guys. It was pretty clean, just two contacts that we really caught on stream, and these guys did pretty well. So, props to them. And again, Zolder is a completely different track, and the cars do, they do move, and the physics and stuff for it are pretty different. So it's going to be interesting to see how these cars perform in Zolder, as well as how these drivers perform in Zolder, because I know a few drivers here who have put in a lot of time in Zolder. So it will be interesting to see if they can maybe get closer to the guys in front, and it's maybe even a three-way battle for P1. Let's see.
Exactly, the more people fighting for P1, the more interesting, the more fun it's gonna get. As you can see, just waiting for the final drivers to round off the grid. As Vipin Chandra comes P2, yeah, he comes P2, and Path coming in strong, P6, and yeah, that's your
That is a
final
final.
order for the race.
Yep, final order is Baldi, Parhi, Shirsagar, Shashank, Vipin Chandra, and the rest of the field. So overall, a pretty decent race, as we were talking about it earlier as well, and a very very good job done by all of them to keep it on track. And I think towards the end, uh, I think Path made a mistake because he was under the 10-second gap, and he did fall back almost to the clutches of Audi. So definitely had a bit of a mistake over there, but overall a very very good race for the top three.
Again, a solid race by all the drivers. They did it as good as they could, and yeah, shame for the instance that happened on track, especially the first incident where a little pileup happened on track. But other than that, you know, incidents happened here and there, but overall a really strong performance by everyone. Especially the top two, mega job by them.
Indeed, like they were very very close, and let's hope for a pretty close race even in Zolder. So yeah, overall a pretty decent race right here.
Yeah, Zold is going to be interesting as Zold is, you know, much more different from Silverstone. Silverstone is a more open and fast-paced circuit, where Zold is a bit more tight, more technical. You have more of a stop-start style of corners where you really have hard braking zones for the chicanes and stuff. And yes, Zold is just going to be a different test of what they can do, and it's a bit of a smaller circuit. Overtaking, I wouldn't say it's harder or easier because again, you have less room, but much more harder braking zones, which you can really capitalize and gain on the drivers in front of you. So yeah,
Indeed, a lot of trail breaking corners coming up in Zolder as well. So of course we'll get to that pretty soon, and let's take a quick break and get back for more racing action for quali as well as the race in Zolder.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down.
All right, good evening, guys, and welcome back to race two of the Esports Premier 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione qualifier, one day 7, and yeah, let's just see how the race two pans out. Race one was pretty close between the top two as well as the guys at the back. So Zolder completely different track, and yeah, any predictions for race two, Electric?
Well, for race two, hopefully, Pari can do pretty well because, it was really close. I felt bad for him at the end of what happened because he was, really reeling into getting P1. And again, I just want to see a great battle between everyone. And yeah, quali also, let's see who's going to get P1s. Again, it's really close between the P2, P1 and P2. And again, we don't even know who's going to come in P3. Shashank might take P3, but let's see who's going to, there's a lot of
Any
variables.
last
Again, it's a different track.
last time was pretty close between the top two, and this time, as we were talking about in the last race as well, the cars do play a pretty important part in Zoldo because a few cars like the Porsche aren't really that great over the curbs, whereas the Mercs as well as even actually the Ferraris are pretty decent going over the curbs. The first chicane and even the second one, so that could play a pretty huge part, even just keeping the car pretty consistent and not spinning out.
Yeah, exactly. Again, Zold is a bit more trickier track compared to, I wouldn't say like tricky in terms of, you know, it's a different feel of the track. Again, some people might find, some people might be more comfortable with high speed circuits where, you're relying on the downforce. Meanwhile, Zold is more of a stop and go circuit, as we say. So there's more harsher curbs. So if you're coming in at the wrong angle or you take too much curb or too less curb, if you take too less curb, you're not maximizing the track. If you take a bit too much over the limit, you can spin out and potentially bottom out your car on the curb. Yeah,
That's
different
true.
try. Is it just
So
a different beast?
we did see in yesterday's race as well that the Audi has pretty good pickup and top end towards the end of the main straight, and we did see a few overtakes going on to turn one as well. So there's not many places where you can really potentially go for a move, but it's more of a waiting game, trying to put the other guy and just pressure the other guy into making a making a mistake and trying to overtake then, or else if you get a very good exit out of the last sector, you could be on to a very good overtake.
Again, sometimes the best thing to do is just wait because sometimes patience can really pay off. Because if you just wait behind the car, just force him into a mistake. Because if you're right on his tail, he's gonna get a bit upset. Let's just say that he's gonna be a bit upset. He'll try to go a bit quicker, and the quicker you go, the more likely you are to make mistakes. And yeah, you just want to just scare the guy in front of you. That's the easiest way to make an overtake. Obviously, you can try a late lunge or really go on the inside or something, but it's really up to you what you do. But again, it depends on what kind of position you are in. If you're in second position and you have 20 minutes left of the race, what's the point overtake? Just stay behind. Just try to maximize what you have till the last moment.
Indeed, we saw that in race one as well, where Path just slightly, on the accelerator, just a bit of eagerness right there, and spun out
Yeah.
going onto the grass, just touching the grass. So, yeah, what you said was perfectly true. You just have to play the patient game. It's a 30-minute race. You will have enough chances to make a move. Just keep it consistent, and that's what Baldy did. He did make the move for P1, kept it super consistent, didn't really make a mistake, and did win the last race. So this track, on paper, should be a good.
Iran.
Okay, so can you hear me now, Electric?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, perfect. So I think we just had slight issue there with the mic volumes. But yeah, I was just talking about how these guys are super competitive and super close to each other, especially Baldy and Pari. And both of them on track right now, pretty close to each other. Pari could get a potential slipstream off of Baldy, but at the same time would be getting a lot of dirty air as well. So going into turn one right now on board Baldy, keeping it pretty clean inside the track limits as well. Going into, I think this is turn two and turn three. So yeah, a slight bit of, I think, oversteer, just a slight snap, well controlled though, and yeah, so far so good for Baldy.
Yeah, Baldy really, he's trying to maximize the track as usual. But yeah, as he's coming up to the chicane, let's see how he takes the chicane. How much curb is he going to take? Ooh, he takes a lot of curb actually, Again, that curb depends on what kind of car you have. Some cars can take a lot of curb and, they won't get unsettled. And some cars, a tiny bit of curb and they're going to get unsettled. Again, how much curb does he take? Yeah, he's taking a lot of curb here. Just right on the limits there. But yeah, his car is able to take it, the Merc. But the Porsche might not be able to take so much curb. Again, it depends on the car. It depends on the driver, how much they can push. And yeah, there's a lot of factors. But yeah, Ball is trying to keep it nice and tight, keeping it clean. Time for this, the hairpin and back on this straight.
Of course, talking about the cars, we do know that Mercedes can go through the curbs, but a lot of setup changes can help your car to go through that just effortlessly. So, of course, Merc is one of the favorites on Zolder, but right behind Voldy, setting a 129.2, putting it on pole right away. He's 1.2 seconds faster than the Porsche behind. So, Barry has 1.2 seconds to gain. Maybe, going through the chicane, he can do that. But as I said, Merc is super, super strong on this track, and anything could happen because these guys haven't really set a time behind the top three. So we just have to wait and see what kind of lap times these guys are able to put. And Parth Patel putting that McLaren in P2 as of now.
Again, yeah, the Mercedes, yeah, as you can see, the Porsche is bouncing way more than the Mercedes on screen. And yeah, setups also really play into effect because some drivers like a really loose setup where you want the car to, really shift around, and some car drivers want a really tight setup. So if you have a tighter setup, you can easily oversteer, but loose setup will make the car more understeer. And it's driver preference. So again, personally, I would prefer a more tighter setup where the car feels like it's on rails, but it's more risky to run that kind of setup. And yeah, as a Pari is like 1.2 off the pace of the P1, and let's see if he does a bank lap or he can improve. Hopefully, he has a bit more in him, and we're gonna see a nice tight qualifying for P1.
And on board Parth right now, and he's leaving a lot of space going through the second chicane, and I really feel that he can try and maybe straight line it a little bit more to try and gain a bit of time, because I'm pretty sure he can go quicker with a McLaren here. He has a bit of practice as well, and P3 right now isn't that bad, just 5 tenths away from Barry, who was almost 2 seconds faster in Britain. So yeah, Zolder, different car, different track, same cars. Slight improvement from Parth, but not enough to even close to the top two. But yeah, Paddy, and we did see the cars as well. The Merc pretty stable going over the curbs and not really unsettling the car, whereas all the other cars, pretty much, especially the Porsche at least, is very, very unstable. It does look very unstable going over the curbs, so that could make the difference.
Yeah, again, curbs do play a lot into this track. It's all about maximizing the track because, again, maximizing the track, pushing the car to the limits, and just staying on the limit, as I said before. Because if you go over the limit, you're gonna end up in a barrier. And compared to Silverstone, the barriers are much closer. It's all this much more tighter circuit, much more narrower circuit. Overtaking is a bit more difficult here. Yes, you have heavier braking zone, which can aid you in overtaking. But again, it's just a different beast overall. So it's gonna really test the drivers as they have to go from a high-speed flowing circuit to a more of a stop-and-go tighter circuit.
Indeed, and while you're talking about that, Baldy has set, I think, a faster time Oh, actually, my bad. I think Curry set a faster time because I'm a little bit confused, but I really think Wally set a faster lap time. 1.3 second gap now. Vipin is 1.8, and so is Bart. So super close between P3 and P4. And yeah, just slowly getting used to the track as well. Of course, they'll take a bit of time to try and put faster laps in. And while I'm talking about that, Shashank puts his Ferrari in P2, just 8 tenths off the pole position, and we can see that a few tracks, the car just doesn't work, or let's say the drive is not really comfortable. But Shashank, who is almost I think P4 last race, has come up to P2, provisional obviously, and Barry is trying his best to get that Porsche out of P3 and maybe even close it to P1.
Yeah, as you can see on Paris POV, he took too much curb, and he took so much curb that his car started bouncing, and he actually lost a bit of time. Again, it depends from car to car. You can't drive the exact same line, even if you have to drive a different line based on what car you have. And Paris is just following all this line, and it's really not working out for him. He has to change a bit. Again, Shawshank also putting it a P2. That's like a bit unexpected. We didn't expect it, but yeah, good on him for doing P2. Maybe he can go closer to Baldy in this race. Maybe they might have a battle, and potentially he might have a win. Again, anyone can take P1. It's anyone's game really.
Indeed, Bolly right now is in a comfortable spot, but again, the last 1 minute, 35, 30 seconds for this whole quali to finish. And yeah, overall, these guys are putting in pretty decent laps in. They still have, most of them at least, have at least one lap to put in. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last lap for Shashank as well as Art. So yeah, both of them just crossed the line right now on Fiery right now, going through the chicane. You can see that the car is actually this time around, he was pretty smooth going through the second chicane, and he is pushing the car to the limit. Of course, he's trying to get a better position than P3 because he was super close to Baldy, and he would just be thinking right now, what happened to the pace? Why is there a 1.3 second gap between me and the person I was fighting in P1, which is Baldy?
Yeah, again, as you can see, that Pari is not a bad driver at all. He's an excellent driver. He has showed off his skill, in the first race, and he might be used to more high speed because I know Pari saying that Silverstone is one of his favorite tracks, and yeah, like it changed again. He's getting a bit closer, like gap decreased to second from 1.3. And yeah, he has to try a different line, try a different exit, try a different entry into the corner. You have to keep switching it up till you find something that works for you. And yeah, Bali just has this circuit nailed down to an exact science. And again, quali has ended as Perry's on his final lap. Yeah, Perry's on his final lap, and here car number 5. Yeah, and KB and Yadi is also on his final lap. And who else is on his flying lap? Yeah, Shashank. So we have 3 drivers doing the final laps, final chance, and yeah,
And what does this
Perry
stop?
says no one gives up. Yeah.
So yeah, I think he didn't really improve in the first sector, so he just thought otherwise, no point of finishing the lap. And you can see that the Ferrari compared to the Porsche, just like 10 or 20 seconds before, it was pretty smooth. It was pretty stable on the track as well. And yeah, it just looks like a very balanced car compared to the Porsche, which is pretty unsettling. And I think that's the reason why Moto has that 9/10 of a gap compared to, let's say, a tenth or maybe even 3/10 in the last track, which is Silverstone.
Yeah, as you can see, like the Ferrari really can eat up those curbs without bouncing too much over the place. While the Porsche, when it touches a curb, it unsettles the car, really upsets the car, and you can't put the power down on the exit. So yeah, again, Zolder is the type of track that every car you have to drive a tiny bit differently, maximizing the curve, limiting the curves, especially depending on what car you have. Setup changes. There's a lot of factors to play for. It's not, skills, setup, and the way you drive the car. There's like a ton of factors which involve in winning a race in Zolder.
Indeed, now we just have to wait and watch what these guys do with the rolling start. Of course, we have the rolling start for all the races, and yeah, Zolder is a place where you can really capitalize on the start because it's a left-hander, and if you time the start right, you can go down the inside, launch it down the inside, and maybe even the outside because there's so much space that you can go for a move. And the first sector is just all twists and turns, and yeah, a very good chance for the drivers to overtake and gain the positions right from the get-go.
Yeah, the first corner can really make or break your entire race actually, because if you take the inside line, you have to be really careful of cars going out on the outside. You know, people can do really really interesting moves into turn one, and yeah, we have to see, and hopefully there's no contact this time. Have to wait and watch.
Yep, we're just waiting for the server to reload and for them to get back into the race. So yeah, we'll just quickly wait for them, and once it's done, we'll load up.
Yep. Yes.
Human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated. It's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling?
So, welcome back. So, we're going to be starting the race real soon, and yeah, I'm really excited for the race. It's going to be a, nice and close race again. Zoldis is a really tight track, so we're going to see a lot of action on track today.
Indeed, we did see a super close race just 20, 30 seconds, 30 minutes back. So, yeah, let's just hope we have that kind of a race, lesser mistakes this time around. And yeah, we'll just have to see if Bolly can just keep that Mercedes in front of everyone else, or can the others get a better start, keep him at bay, and just defend from him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a, nice and tight race for Baldi and Pari. And, actually, the grid seems a lot more closer together than the last race. So we might see even a more interesting battle throughout the race instead of, instead of the race getting broken up into multiple sections, it might be a much more closer battle for P1.
Yep, let's hope for that. Or if not P1, at least for P2, because these guys were super close. And especially the top, I think I would say P2 to P4 were super, super close to each other. And yeah, let's just hope these guys are super close. Of course, we all want to see a clean start. We don't really want to see any incidents right from the get go. So let's hope for a clean start. And yeah, we're just waiting for the drivers to load in, and then we'll quickly swap over to that screen.
Yeah, again, we're about to forward the session right now into the race, and yeah, we want to see bumper to bumper racing as close as possible without touching each other. So, the closer you get, the better it gets. But again, tiny little mistake, just a tiny, just pushing the brake pedal a bit, a millimeter too much or too less can, be the difference between you finishing the race and you ending up in the barrier. So, yeah.
Indeed, we did see that in the last race where there was contact between the McLaren, I think the Audi, and yeah, not a good show for both of them, because again, both of their races are ruined. It was a very, very good battle right till then, but then yeah, just the unfortunate part. And again, pretty honorable mention to the BMW driver as well. I think it was Shirsagar, who put up a very good defense against a very quick Shashank right behind him. So super good defense going into, that was sector 2. So yeah, not too bad from a bad showing by him as well.
Exactly, and yeah, just a moment or two. We're gonna be forwarding into the race, and it's gonna be a good one. Definitely gonna be a good one today.
Of
Yeah.
course, they have to load in all the
Yeah,
setups,
it takes a while.
you know. Yeah, putting on the fuel, because last time I actually remember my first time ever racing in ACC, and I saw that everyone's going for lower fuel, and there will be pit stops where I can just refuel. And of course, it was a 30-minute race. I didn't really realize that, and I went on to do the whole race, and then realizing on the last lap that I have less fuel and retiring the car. So yeah, these guys, of course, way more experienced than I was back then, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to put in decent amount of fuel and go to the end.
Yeah, again, the thing about fueling is it's an art. It's more of an art than a science because every driver drives at a different pace. And if you're driving, if your pace isn't up to, if you're not a really quick driver, let's be honest, not all of us are really quick. If you're, a tiny bit slower, carrying a bit less fuel might be an advantage.
That is true. And 30-second timer is here. All the cars are set for the grid, and yeah, overall a pretty shaken up standings from the last qualifying and the race. So yeah, let's hope for a good race this time around.
Again, a surprise announcement by Shawshank, splitting Baldi and Parry. So that's going to be really interesting to see, what he can do. And yeah, I'm rooting for Shashank. What can he do? Because I am genuinely curious on his pace. Because he suddenly like improved so much from the last race and this race. Again, such a difference. Oh, someone's going backwards.
That's a McLaren going backwards. No idea what happened there. And there's another McLaren already inside the wall. I think that's part just in the wall. Maybe his wheel wasn't really connected well. But yeah, we're back on the grid now, and the McLaren has overtaken Shashank, who's supposed to be in P2 and now is in P4. So a little confusion going on right here. It's green lights and we are go. We can see that the McLaren around the outside of Baldy and Ferrari and the McLaren have a bit. I think that's a Porsche. Sorry, Ferrari and the Porsche have a bit of tangle, but both of them somehow survive. And Pari just chilling in P3, and the McLaren slowly has got down to P4. The BMW right behind him did try to go for a move, had a bit of oversteer, a slight bit of contact at the back between the Audi and the BMW. Oh, it's kicking off already.
Yeah, that was a really interesting start with the car going back. Was probably stuck in the wrong gear, but yeah, as you know, as we settle down a tiny bit, we could see, you know, Shashak in P2 and so who's in P1? I think yeah,
Baldi.
Baldi is in P1. Yeah, Perry holding P3, and yeah, not the best start for Perry. He might be hoping for a bit better. And yeah, oh, and Shashank goes off track, and you know, cones flying everywhere. Yeah, that was a really interesting start. As Baldi just flies away, capitalizing on everyone's mistakes in the start.
And of course, we saw Parth going into the wall as well. Maybe he was thinking, okay, let's not crash in the race, let's do it P-race, and then not have any contact after that. So yeah, right now both the McLarens back of the pack right from the get-go. The BMW has overtaken BMW of Sagar has overtaken Vipin Chandra, and they've been trying to maybe go down the inside. BMW completely, just becomes a lawnmower right there. The McLaren definitely has a better exit though. Gets squeezed. The second McLaren of Parth is trying to go for maybe a move around the outside, but no, he has to hold station. Super close fighting between these guys. We saw great defense last time around, and yet again a very, very clean and safe way of defense from Sagar right there.
Yeah, this is a really interesting start. As you can see, 27 minutes left in the race here, just so and yeah, now people are really settling in. As you can see, gaps are forming, and yeah, we can see a move right here. Oh, they're on the inside, going onto the grass, and he spins out. Touching part, and that was not the best thing to do.
So this is exactly what I was talking about in the quali as well. Few of these cars just, of course, they are on heavier fuel compared to the quali stint, and you just have to be on your toes, trying to collect your car if it's, you have a tank slapper or whatnot, and you have to be completely focused because we could see that the car was completely unstable going over the curbs. I think he just took the curb a bit too much, and that unsettled the car, and he's gone for a spin. Coming up to the last and final sector for the guys in front, Aldi has a 2-second lead, and Parry has to overtake Shashank right here, because if he doesn't, he will stay stuck behind him for yet another lap, and I think that's going to be the case right now. And it's just unfortunate for him because he did have a pretty decent start. Both the guys in front did have a bit of contact where Paddy would have been like, oh please, just take each other out. But yeah, both of them did very well to keep the cars on track. And again, props to all these drivers for keeping the car on track and not really having terminal damage. And while, oh, that was a huge movement right there for Parth. And that's pretty much another position gone for him because the second McLaren is going to overtake him right there.
Yeah, as you can see, Perry is having a bit of a tough time following Shashak into the corners. Like, again, it's a tricky little track where following cars here is not the easiest thing, especially the high speed section where you lose a lot of downforce if you fall back. He was really getting close to Shashank, but yeah, he's backed up a tiny bit. Yeah, he has to make the move stick. If he wants to get close to Baldi, he has to make the move stick somehow. But yeah, Shashank is doing a mega job keeping it in P2.
For making the move stick, he has to be closer, and the second thing is that he will have to push and go for a dive bomb and just send it down the inside of one of these corners, because the gap now is, of course, slowly but surely increasing, and he was almost a second and a half slower than Shashank in front, but he makes a mistake going out of going onto the gravel, and Shashank is right on the grass of Pari right here. So he can make a move going into the next chicane, but the Porsche, not the best going over the curb. So this is getting interesting right here.
Yeah, again, he has to capitalize on a mistake. Because of the mistake, he has, he's right on the bumper of Shawshank, and let's see what Parry can do. He has to make the moves, and yeah, as you said, curbs are going to be a real issue for him because overtaking, you have to get on the curbs at least a tiny bit to make that overtake stick. But yeah, again, Shawshank is pulling away. He just has more pace, more momentum through every single corner. Again, you can literally see the Porsche literally bouncing all over the place taking those curbs.
Yeah, that's true. The Ferrari is just way more comfortable going over the curbs, whereas the Porsche just has to stay behind. And is you can see that he's a little nervous going over the curbs because of what happened in quali as well. He had a moment, so doesn't really want to push too much going over the curbs and having a spin like one of the McLarens. And both the McLarens right now so close to each other. Path Patel trying to get closer to Dhruv, I think that is in front of him. So yeah, yet again, Baldy is just setting consistent 1 minute 30.1s, whereas Shashank as well as Purdy right behind are doing 130.6s and 131s. So the gap definitely is increasing almost up to 4 seconds now. It is above 4 seconds now, and he's just getting away with this win right now.
Yeah, it's gonna get, it's getting really interesting. Again, we still have 23 minutes. Anything could happen in the time. As on the other screen, you can see the McLaren fighting. Pat Patel really just on the rear of the other McLaren, of the green McLaren. Let's see if we can make any moves. Any just waiting for a mistake. And yeah, let's see what happens between them. A long race to go.
But yeah, collectively, both the McLarens are getting slightly closer to the BMW in front, so maybe they can have a battle over there. But one driver that we haven't really spoken about much this time around is PKB, who is I think a Bravo 6. So yeah, in the Audi P4, a solid P4, and just settling down 3 seconds behind Ferrari as well, and doing his own race. He's kind of in the position where Pahi was earlier, but yeah, he has company now because Shirsagar has come closer to him. The gap was pretty marginable earlier on, but yeah, Shirsagar has closed that gap up. But we know that the Audi has a very good top speed, so yeah, he could just have this in the bag and could just defend from Shirsagar for maybe even 22 minutes of the race.
Yeah, KB was having a fun race on his own, but now he has company, and hope he does. He hope he doesn't make a mistake under pressure of a car behind him, because as you see, like, drivers are making mistakes when there's a car falling right behind them. They're just pushing the tiny little bit more just to create a gap, and they just go over the limit. So hope KB doesn't do that and just keeps his calm, just driving his own race, defending smartly, and keeps his position. And that doesn't happen.
The commentator's curse has literally struck him, and it has somehow Shashank has also spun out, and that's going to be huge because I'm pretty sure he has had damage by going into the barrier right there. And yeah, we did talk about KB, and he somehow had a moment, and he's P7 now, way back at the back of the field, and Shashank also losing a lot of time because of that, maybe a mistake. He was turned the other way when we got on board. But yeah, that's super unfortunate for him because he did have pretty decent pace for maybe P2 and fight Wari behind, because Wally was just completely faster than them and putting in some consistent laps in. But we had a 4-man battle. Now it's slowly becoming a 3-man battle for P4.
Yeah, unfortunate for KB. Again, then racing is you have to be calm under pressure. That's the entire point of racing. The second a car comes behind you still have to you have to drive like no one is behind you in a way. Because if you start thinking about a guy behind you, you're going to make mistakes. That's the unfortunate thing. But as you can see on parts on, but he is just looking at the battle in front of him. He wants to join the battle, trying to get inching closer to the P4 position. And let's see if he gets closer again. Yeah.
Again, Bath was just right behind another McLaren, so both of them kind of in the similar setups, and both the cars also reacting the same. And I think the McLaren is going for a move down the inside, breaks late, and makes the turn. I actually thought that maybe the McLaren is not going to slow down in the right time, but what a move that is by Drove to take P4. Talking about both the McLarens just trying slowly but surely catching up to the BMW, and while I'm talking about that, he does make a mistake. The BMW tries to go for maybe a switchback, but is blocked very well by Drove, and Shirsagar just has to stay behind for now. And again, another great move going down the inside yet again on the chicane. McLarens collide, and that is super unfortunate.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. As we can see, I wanted Part to get in on the action because it's getting really, spicy between them. But that instant happened. But Part have might not changed. Is the BMW slowing down a bit? To me, or is it slowing down a tiny bit? It felt like it did, didn't it? Right there.
Yes.
But yeah,
Probably.
yeah. But again, Part might have another chance, but unfortunate for the other McLaren, he couldn't, that oversteer moment wasn't the best of what he can deliver.
Well, maybe it wasn't really the best move for Dhruv, but one thing that is clear right now is we have a battle on our hands. We have the top two pretty much just stagnant, even maybe P3, but we have a battle on our hands for P4 between Shirsaga and Parth right now, and of course we have a battle for P6 and P7 between the Audi and the McLaren at the back after the McLaren had a spin. And yeah, it was super close between both the McLarens as well. I am pretty surprised that Parth got away from that and didn't really crash out with Vipin right there.
Yeah, again, Part looking mighty strong there in the McLaren. He is getting closer to the BMW, just closing the tenth of a second every corner. Again, 0.6. Yeah, he let's see what he does. Will he be patient, or will he dive down the inside and take the position? Is in Part's hand right now, and let's see what he can do. I want to see what BMW is defending right now. Going a bit onto the grass as Part gets in the trenches. Are they going side by side? I think they're side by side, coming into the first corner right here, and Part takes the position and goes off. Again, it's all archie barchie right now, but interesting race between the two of them.
Oh, that was such a good move by Parth. If he just slowed down the car, he could have had the BMW in front. But we do know that Shirsaga's defense in that BMW has been immaculate this whole session. So even the race one, we saw him putting in some great moves and defending pretty cleanly from the guys behind him. And he's done this exact same thing this time around as well. And we are on board KB right now, who is in that Audi. Did have a spin while you were just talking about him, and as you can see, both of them just kind of staying away from the curbs and not really taking them. Whereas if you saw the lead car, he was taking those curbs because he was able to. So everyone on different setups. Vipin is super close to KB right here. Maybe can go for a move, but again, in the straight, that Audi is pretty much a beast and can keep the car in front. And even with the battle between, I think it's super close. There's contact between the Audi as well as the McLaren. Super unfortunate. And yeah, he just slowed down, let the Audi through, but that's just unfortunate. A little overcooked on the braking, maybe just missed the braking point by, let's say, 10 or 20 meters and went completely into the back of the Audi.
Yeah, he missed his brake point completely there. Again, when you're following a car with heavier fuel loads, this is not a quali stint. This is a race stint. So the way you brake changes. You have to brake much more further back and try to give it a bit of space. But mistakes do happen. What happened to the McLaren? That was interesting. Okay,
I think he just.
I don't know. Yeah, that was an interesting turn by him. Again, as you can see, the McLaren really trying to get close to the Audi. He's getting close. He's getting close inch by inch, and we might see a
Keep it
move
up.
here pretty soon. And halfway through the race hasn't settled down as moves are making instances are happening left and right. Moves are happening left and right.
Yeah, this is more of a chess game than a race right now because we've seen Parth Patel as well as S. Sagar. Both of them got super close to each other, and it was kind of a stalemate where the BMW was faster in the corners and the McLaren was faster on the straight, and both of these guys just go off track. Both of them go off track somehow. Just kept it, got it back on track. Super close, bumper racing right here, and the Audi has a crazy spin, puts the McLaren in the wall, and that is super unfortunate for the McLaren of Dhruv Vipin Chandra just to be there because he had a bit of, I think, snap of oversteer. KB had a bit of oversteer and just caught Dhruv. He was just there in the wrong time, just wrong place, wrong time. As simple as that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for the McLaren because the McLaren couldn't do anything about it. The Audi just had an oversteer on the exit and just drove right into if he was just if he just touched the brakes a bit, he might be able to avoid that accident. But yeah, again, it was neck and neck between them. Again, really driving on the limit, both of the drivers. And when they drive on the limit, they are making a fair amount of mistakes. As you can see, the Audi just creaming into the barrier right there. And yep, the amount of damage on the Audi might be. Yeah, I don't know how he's keeping that on track. And he went back.
Yeah.
Might be undrivable.
That is super unfortunate. I think that's the second time he's lost the car in the exact same part. And again, this is a pretty technical circuit, I would say. But yeah, we're back with Parth and Shirsagar. The McLaren is faster on a straight. This could be a chance for Parth. He has been pretty patient just behind Shirsagar. And yeah, again, as I said, the BMW is pretty well poised right now. He's putting up a great defense, and the McLaren is just not being able to overtake. So even though he's maybe slightly faster on the straights, he does close up during the braking points, even in the sector 3, but he's not able to capitalize on that. And when he did, he could not make the turn 1. So just slightly unfortunate, but it's still on for P4.
Yeah, again, the name of the game here is just patience. Just sticking behind that car and just waiting for him to make mistakes. Because people are making mistakes left and right. So I think that's the best strategy for Bart to follow right now. Just stay behind the BMW. Just watch him drive. Keep half a second gap, and when there's an opportunity, strike at the right time.
Yep, indeed. Right now, one thing which I have been keeping an eye out is on the leaderboard on the top left. We can see that, of course, KB is out of the race. Maybe he's just gone back to the pits and just lost a lot of time. But the second thing that I've been looking at is the gap between Pari as well as Shawshank. So both of them, the gap was, of course, more than 10 seconds, but the gap has come down to almost, I think, 4 seconds or something. So, yeah, slowly but surely, Shashank is catching up. He's 13 seconds behind Baldy, and Shashank is catching up to Pari right here. But yeah, it just looks like the McLaren, sorry, not the McLaren, the Mercedes of Baldy is just more, and even the driver is just more confident on the track, just able to take the curbs pretty well. And this time, even the Porsche took the curb pretty well. So maybe slowly but surely, they've understood what the lines are and are able to keep the car on track without making that many mistakes. And yeah, Baldy just setting some quality time trial lap times right now.
Yeah, Baldy is just in his own league, in his own race, and he's just he just ran away. Let's just say that he just ran away. Now his entire goal is just to keep the car on track and take it home. 2/3 of the race is complete. Just he has to keep the car on the track for 10 more minutes, and he's gonna take the crown pretty soon. And yeah, Harry just 36 seconds behind him. As we can see, a battle between the BMW and McLaren. These guys aren't giving up, and I like that. As the McLaren really the McLaren just has to keep the pressure on the BMW. Just just keep his just keep sticking to his bumper, and we should see a move here pretty soon between them.
Yep, we have seen that Parth just gets slightly closer to him, but then yeah, the defense and just the car positioning by the BMW driver Shirsagar has been on point right now. You can see that he's gaining quite a bit, but he does have to brake a bit early. He cannot just go for a Hail Mary dive bomb down the inside into the last chicane. But yeah, he just has to try and make a move here, try to force the BMW to make a mistake, and he slightly, just does get closer, but yet again, he does not crack under pressure. The BMW driver has just kept the car in front of the McLaren and is doing a great job at it as well.
Yeah, again, as you can say, the BMW driver is not even defending that hard. He is just trying to keep his car on track, just trying to be consistent, and that's all that matters. As long as the BMW keeps it consistent, the McLaren is going to have a hard time passing, because you can see the McLaren is starting to struggle. He was pulling out to the side during the straight. He was getting a bit impatient. He was trying to make the move a bit too early, but he has to close up the gap much more to be able to make a move right there. He has to stick it on the rear and just wait for the opportunity.
Yep, and talking about opportunities, we have but this is the best opportunity he has. He had an opportunity. He did overtake him for maybe let's say 2 or 3 seconds, but just overcooked it a bit too much. But this time, yet again, he went wide, came back in, and has caught up again. So going for a move down the inside while we're talking about that into the hairpin, pushes BMW slightly wide and gets the same kind of treatment back. And I think that was foot to the floor, completely on throttle. Shirsagar and Parth Patel going side by side, going into the last turn. The BMW has the inside and can keep the car just in front of the McLaren. What a battle we have for P4 right here.
Yeah, that was a bit interesting. As you can see, it was a full contact sport between them. They were going side by side, pushing each other a bit here and there. Really testing the track limits. They were right on edge. Maybe a bit too on edge just for you to decide, but yeah, it is gonna get spicy between them. I can't see. I can't wait to see what more we have in store between them.
It's down to the last 7 minutes and 30 seconds now. And oh boy, what a race this has been. Baldi P1, Pari P2, Estrao in P3, Shirsagar and Parth Patel right now in P4 and P5 respectively. But yeah, Patel is doing a very good job to try and just close this gap down and get that P4 off of him, because he does seem to have more pace, but it's just that the BMW driver is doing everything that he can to keep the McLaren behind, and so far so good. He has been successful in doing so, and oh boy, in what fashion he has done it.
Speaking of battle, there is a battle happening for P2 as well. Actually, if you can see on the mini map, there's a tree. Yeah, it was closer like a bit ago, but yeah, there's a three-way battle happening for P2 as well. And yeah, let's see how they get on as well. So there's 2 battles happening on track right now, and but that was not the best thing to happen for him.
This is exactly what happened in the last race as well, where it is a slightly bit impatient, and yet again he just touches a bit of gravel, spins out. I don't know if there was a contact there, not really sure from this angle, but yeah, it's just super unfortunate. But he's done well to recover from it. He's still, I think, under a second, and yeah, just trying to catch back up to the cars in front. And I think that is Dhruv Vipin Chandra just retiring and going back into the pits. I just saw him going back to the pits, so yeah, that's just unfortunate for him. But yeah, as you were talking about the gaps as well, Pari and Estrao are also pretty close to each other, but the gap is just slowly coming down. Whereas right now, Shirsagar and Patel right now are super close to each other. It's an unfortunate, let's say, incident in the last lap. But yeah, now the chances for the BMW to stay in front are just looking way better.
Yeah, exactly. Parth is getting a bit impatient. Again, the name of the game, just stick it behind him. You don't have to make a move right now, because the more you push the car, the more mistakes you're gonna make. As you can see again, he went too wide, put his wheels on the grass, and just lost a bit of time there. Shouldn't be doing this at this stage of the race.
Yeah, that's true. It's like we saw that he was a bit impatient last time and going onto the grass. Same with this time around, but there's still 5 minutes left, and you can see that he's completely on the limit because he's throwing that car, into every single corner. And we have a move for, I think that's P2. Yep, that is Shashank trying to go for a move on Pari and goes down the inside into the chicane. That's not really going to work out this time around. And yep, it does not. It's Pari just keeping that Porsche right in front of Shashank right there. And again, this is going to boil down to maybe the last few laps because Baldy is completely in front, almost 20 seconds. Let's just say that much. So it's going to be a battle for P2 and a battle for P4. So this time around, Ferrari is closer to Pari. It's super close in the braking zone as well, but then I think the Porsche will have a better exit. He does because the Ferrari driver has a bit of snap of oversteer, and yeah, that has compromised his line. You can see that the Porsche is just beaming out in front, and yeah, what do you think about that, Electric?
Yeah,
A
but
lot
that
of
was
sliding
really
from Ferrari.
yeah. You could see like how well he raced in the chicane. Yeah, now he's getting pretty slidey. But yeah, and he loses the car. That is unfortunate to see, and he has front damage definitely after that. That's a really heavy impact on the barriers right there. But before that, I was genuinely impressed between the two drivers because they were on the limit, really pushing each other but not touching. And yeah, that was an unfortunate end to what could have, what could have happened.
I think yet again, it's just he got impatient. He was trying to push because he did catch up to Pari in front. Yeah, they were just having a good old battle, but that's super unfortunate for Shashank because he was super close. But yeah, just unfortunate. A bit, I think, eager again on the accelerator, spun out and hit the wall. Has around, I think, 16-second gap to Paris. So yeah, from almost 6 tenths to 16 seconds. So not really a good race for him right here.
Yeah, but he was a bit too eager on the power, and as you can see, his bonnet, his front hood is coming up a bit. So he's not gonna have the pace anymore after that heavy impact. He's gonna lose a lot of speed and with the amount of damage he has at the front of the car. But yeah, let's see now. He's still in third position. He's still on the podium position. Now he just has to 2 more minutes left. Just make sure no one overtakes him and just get the car home, and that's all for him. Because I doubt he can make any moves with 17 seconds left.
Yeah, that's true. And while we are just talking about all these guys, Baldy just chilling in P1, extending that gap from these guys at the back. And yeah, he's had a very solid drive. He knows this track. His car also likes this track apparently, and yeah, both the combo just working very well. Baldy just keeping the car on track, not really making that many mistakes, and having a very comfortable lead right now. And towards the back of the pack as well, we had a very close race between Shisaga and Pat Patel, but then I think the McLaren had a spin yet again, and has gone down to P5. I mean, has stayed on P5, but has a 10-second time penalty. So even if he gets a P5, P4 on track, that will definitely go away. And yeah, there we go. Leader on the final lap.
Yeah.
Amazing, dominant drive by Baldy. What a race.
Baldy just started his final lap of the race. Now he just has to bring it home, keep the car in one piece, and he has to win. That was a pretty chill drive for him actually. Nothing much going on. As he just dominated today. Absolutely dominated the entire session today. In Silverstone, in Zolder, just a few more corners before he takes the win. As the other cars follow behind him. And the field is pretty spread out, so I think everyone is in the mindset of just bringing it home right now. Nothing really much going on, and yeah, it's really solid performance from Baldy today.
Yep, the field is pretty spread out. A few of the cars. If Baldy had a few more laps, I think he would have maybe even lapped a few cars. And I think, of course, KB is already loved because of his unfortunate. Just he went into the wall, so yeah, just unfortunate for that. But yeah, overall, a pretty decent race by Baldy, coming up to the last and final chicane of for the final time this race. And yeah, what a race it has been for Baldy. A pretty dominant one. Even in Silverstone, he was driving very, very well, and that's a P1 yet again for Mr.
The
Baldy.
leader has finished the race.
Yeah, across the line, P1. Dominant drive by him. Basically unchallenged today. As you can see, Ari coming in the Porsche coming P2, all the rounding off the final corner, start finish line, and he is going to take P2. And yeah, again, who we have Shashank in P3. Shashank and P3 gonna take the final chicane before he wins the race. I mean, gets P3. And yeah, KB gonna take P6 with a 5-second. A bit of early celebration by Shashank as he takes P3. Brilliant job by him.
Yeah, really consistent drives by most of the drivers. Just a few of them making a few mistakes here and there, and it would have been pretty nerve-wracking for Bolly as well going into turn one, where Ferrari of Shashank almost turned into him, but surprisingly, none of them really had any terminal damage and were able to keep their cars pointing in the right direction. So props to them for that. And what a race it has been for Shisaga in P4 as well, who has had an amazing defense against Parth Patel, who's on screen right now. And he also put up a very good fight for P4 and ended up P5 in the end, which is, again, not too bad for him.
Yeah, again, brilliant race for Bali. Like, genuinely props to him because that was an amazing performance by him. But even the rest of the drivers also, they did very well today. And yeah, it was a dramatic race, to be honest. It was pretty dramatic, but we got there at the end.
Indeed. So, congratulations here to all the podium finishes. A very good drive, even in the Silverstone race. I think we had the same podium, and this time also it's pretty much the same podium. So it's only the four drivers who swapped around, but very impressive performance from the guys at the back as well, with some great defenses and a great few lunges as well from one of the McLarens going into the first chicane.
Yeah, there's again this race was much more dramatic. Again, the track was much tighter. Mistakes were easier to make. But yeah, at the end of the day, Baldi just did a dominant drive today, and even Shashank P3 from him was, compared to his performance in Silverstone, it was a tiny bit unexpected. Again, anyone can get any position, but it was a bit unexpected by him. And yeah, great props to him for pulling that out of the hat today.
Yeah, P2 in quali and P3 in the race. Again, it ain't too bad. Just a slight, mishap, and that's just racing. So overall, great performance by all the drivers, and would like to say thanks to all of them. And yeah, that's pretty much this race and this qualifier done as well. So qualifier one, this was the final race for this qualifier. If you guys want to join for the second qualifier, it's going to be on November 27th. So you guys can sign up. The links are there in all the socials, Instagram, Discord, in the description as well of the YouTube stream. And this is, the Esportz Premier Series 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione Quali 2. So if you guys want to sign up, you can do that. And this has been a very good time for both of us as well in the combox. This is Swagger and Electrip. You want to say some final words?
Well, yeah, thank you very much for watching today. That was a really, fun 2 races by all the drivers. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you again for the next stream, next, qualifier session. And yeah, everyone take care. Thank you very much for joining us today.
And good night. Bye bye.
Oh,
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Yeah. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got a few more days to slay, It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all.